have announced changes in policies which will open talks between the two governments for the first time in more than 50 years. The move was announced right after a prisoner swap that brought American Alan Gross home.
Today is the first day of Hanukkah, and I guess so far it's the best Hanukkah that I'll be celebrating.
Neither the American nor Cuban people are well served by a rigid policy that's rooted in events that took place before most of us were born.
The U.S. plans to open an embassy in Havana, ease travel, and allow for more business between the two countries. One Cuban American who now calls Milwaukee home doesn't plan any trips back anytime soon. For as much as he welcomes the thawing of relations, the core of why he fled Cuba has not changed.
Seems like a festive thing, but it's a double-edged sword.
UW Milwaukee professor Rene Izquierdo escaped Cuba at 19 and went on to achieve his own American dream. He says the beginning of diplomacy between the U.S. and Cuba is promising, but will not bring about the end of persecution for those who want democracy over communism.
The president is trying to change some of that. However, I think that we must continue to pressure the communist system.
In fact, the embargo doesn't end with this announcement, and U.S. citizens still can't travel freely to Cuba. Yet a growing number of observers say this is deserving of the historic title, considering the involvement of Pope Francis in getting the two leaders to talk, with diplomats meeting on neutral ground.
Canada was involved, and apparently from what is being written, these negotiations began more than a year ago.
Professor Izquierdo points out Cuban citizens are still without access to the internet or firearms, rights Americans are so accustomed to. But for Cubans, the song of freedom not yet ready to be played. Congressman Paul Ryan said in a statement he's happy that Gross was released, but, quote, I'm very concerned about the broader changes to our Cuba policy announced by the president today. Congress must carefully review these changes and determine whether they comply with United States law.
A Racine man now charged with hit and run.